All right. All right. Good afternoon, everyone. Thank you for joining in for today's webinar. We'll exercise some patience for a couple of more 2 minutes, I think, so we can actually have more people join on and we'll move forward. Thank you so much. All right. Good afternoon, everyone. You're all welcome to our Study Now webinar in collaboration with Edge Hill University. My name is Halima, and I am thrilled to be your host for today. Thank you all for joining in. All right. We do have a couple of exciting agenda planned out, and it's with valuable insights for our participating university. Before we get started, I would love to go through the housekeeping rules. All right, we do have a couple. All right, if you have any questions during the presentation, please feel free to type in the chat box and we'll definitely attend to it during the Q&A session. Also, if this webinar is being recorded and will be available for a replay after the event. And if you experience any technical issues, please do not hesitate to drop a chat in the chat box and our support team will definitely assist you. So let's dive into the proper agenda for today. All right. It's with a great pleasure for me to introduce our guest speaker for today's session. We are joined in by Paul, the senior lecturer in law and finance at Edge Hill University. All right. Paul brings a wealth of experience and expertise to this webinar. With a strong background in both legal studies and financial practice, his research interests focus on financial regulation, corporate governance, and the intersection between law and finance. We're excited to have you here for this important and timely topic. Also joining in, I do have Gils and Walid co-hosting with me. So thank you all for joining in. All right. Hello, Paul. You're welcome. I think I'd give you the floor to move forward.
Right, yeah. Hi, thank you, Halima, for the introduction. As you mentioned, I primarily work in a business school, supporting other topics as well, which we'll explore in a few moments. But I also work in the law school, and we can debate this later if we also have time. Some of the modules and some of the topics that are covered in the law school. In terms of the content for this, I'm going to hand over to my colleague Giles, who has been working on the new content for the postgraduate modules, which we're going to talk about and share with you. So if I pass to Giles, if you want to take the floor.
Thank you, Bob. So my name's Giles McClellan. I'm the Associate Director of Quality and Planning at Edge Hill University Business School. I've been involved heavily in the revalidation of both the under and postgraduate portfolio. So just to give people some context about what they know about Edge Hill in the business school. From business school, we're quite a small, but because of that, we get really good outcomes from our students, both international and home-based students. We've recently revalidated and launched our new undergraduate portfolio, which I'll talk through. And also from next year, we have a full new postgraduate portfolio consisting of 11 programs, which are all fully validated for delivery from September 2025. So quite an exciting time. We're actually building on good strengths in our postgraduate portfolio. So, for example, last year in the P-Test results for business schools, that's the postgraduate teaching excellence surveys of all postgraduate schools and all their students. We came first on, I think, 4 of the 9 key performance indicators, and there wasn't a single key performance indicator we weren't in the upper quartile. So we were very proud of that. I think one of our strengths as a business school is we are small, so all the students feel a part of the community. It's a bit of a different experience than going to maybe a business school where there might be a cohort of 700, 800 students. Our cohort, the biggest cohort we've had at postgraduate was about 140 students across 4 degrees. So on our MBA or on our business and management, which I'll talk about, you might be only one of 40 students. So you get a real personalized experience with our good personal tutors, good dissertation support, and an academic staff who will get to know you as students, and that's a key strength. So all of our students have a great experience, and they leave Edge Hill being Edge Hill alumni, but they're very proud of their time here and very proud of the opportunities they've had and their association with our school and university and wider community. So we've got a slideshow. While Halima, shall I just give me a thumbs up? Shall I go straight into the slideshow at this point? Brilliant.
Yes, please go ahead. The floor is yours.
Thank you. So I'm just going to share my screen. Hopefully this works. I was just saying to colleagues, yep, we're sharing. So it's got Paul's name up, and I said, my name's Giles McClelland as well. So all we're going to run through is some of our business school programs and the courses which we've got on offer today for you. So contents have said about the school. I think I've covered a bit of that. So excuse me if I won't repeat myself. Our undergraduate portfolio, and because it's international, I'll focus less on the undergraduate portfolio and focus more on the postgraduate portfolio. And then what we've done there is just a deeper. I'll go a bit into detail on some of our most popular postgraduate programs which are associated with the international market. In regard to that, and then a bit about our teaching and assessment, and then, like I said, if there's any questions, either put them in the chat. I won't be able to monitor the chat, but I'm sure Halima will be able to monitor the chat whilst I speak, and we'll be able to deal with the Q&A at the end. Brilliant. So there's a map of our university. It should give you an indication. We're a campus-based university. That's the big difference between some of you will have experience of UK universities. You've either studied in them or you've visited them. There's 2 or 3 types of universities. Some of the more metropolitan, which are city-based, and you can find yourself going across the university, and there might be other businesses or other organisations which are non-university owned around the university and part of the university. Whereas we're what we call a campus-based university. So everything on our campus is Edge Hill University. You will never study off the campus. Indeed, you can live on campus as well. So accommodation is available on campus. Some of our students travel in from Liverpool and Manchester, which are very close to Ormskirk, to study at our campus on the train. But there is the opportunity it's a campus enclosed university. Excellent sports facilities as well. Credible sports facilities, credible cafes, social areas, brilliant libraries. Virtually every building except for our traditional base building, which dates over 100 years, has been updated and made within the last 20, 30 years, pretty much all of them. They're contemporary buildings. Because it's campus-based university, you feel a part of a community as well. Everything's within the campus. And it's also exceptionally safe. Ormskirk is a small town by the UK standards. Low crime rate, that type of, everyone feels safe. There's good campus security, good campus support, beautiful campus to live on, study on, and spend your time on. Everything's there available to it. The business school is just behind our main building. As you can see, it's ringed there. Quite a large business and business school. And on some of the courses, you might do law modules or computing modules. And the law building, I think, is number 11 on that, going off that, and the computing building is number 12. So you can see everything. They're the 3 buildings. When you are on the business, if you are doing postgraduate studies here, what happens is the postgraduate and the undergraduate, they're often timetabled at different times. So the school feels like an undergraduate school at certain times of the day, And at other times of the day, it's very much a postgraduate school. So by doing that, we utilize our building and make it kind of two schools in one: an undergraduate school on Mondays, Tuesdays, and predominantly Fridays, but Wednesdays and Thursdays, it's more focused towards postgraduate studies and postgraduate classes. Most of your classes, if you do study at the business school, will be held in the business school as well. We don't necessarily use facilities outside the business school unless we need perhaps more computer labs or that type of stuff. Now, a bit about our school. It's a team of around 50 people, blending good quality academic expertise with industry experience. We try and get the right mix. We've got some very strong academics, very strong professors who are well renowned in their field. The majority of staff are active in research and publishing, but also we've got a lot of staff who are active on what we call KE, knowledge exchange work. So going out to organizations as consultants, as specialists, as experts, and working with organizations to transfer some of their knowledge and improve the local businesses. Indeed, we've got a business center where students who are involved in working with SMEs and doing projects can help the local small, medium-sized enterprise or larger organizations. We also have business incubation units where our students who have entrepreneurial ambitions and motivations can work with our staff to incubate their businesses in those early stages where it's critical to start a business. So there's a lot of knowledge exchange and research and then teaching and learning. But our focus is on teaching and learning. That's why we do quite well on things like the postgraduate teaching excellence survey and the undergraduate national student surveys, because we have to be good at teaching, because the school's background, or the university's background, sorry, is in teacher training. So there's excellence in what we call pedagogic teaching. Yeah, we have researchers, postgraduates, as you can imagine, postgraduate researchers. We encourage our students, a lot of our postgraduate researchers and PhD students are graduates of the master's programs, which I used to run, which I'm particularly proud of. They become colleagues eventually, some of them, which is particularly good. We work closely with employability as well, careers, to develop, get students transitioning successfully out of university. So when the time comes, they can capitalize on the learning, capitalize on the skills, develop good links with industry, develop their CVs, do competency-based assessments so they get ready for interviews. So the graduate attainments, both postgraduate and undergraduate, meaningful employment, we try to hit those targets. And them services are available to an alumni a long time after students graduate as well. Now, let's think about our undergraduate portfolio. We kind of focus in three key fields: business and management, and we've got some general pathways in those, so people can specialize on in just general business and management, or they can go down the international business route. Business and economics, business and law, and then we also have a foundation year. So that's for students who might have fallen through, for whatever reason, the cracks in the pavements of education and may not have the entry requirements. So foundation year gets them ready for university study if they've not got the qualifications to enter directly at undergraduate level. So foundation courses are the norm. Then we've got our marketing and analytics programs. So there we've got our general business and marketing, our core marketing, which focuses purely on marketing, and our new degree, which is focused on business analytics. So analytics, you'll talk about this in very much in the postgraduate portfolio, but we're trying to develop students with the competencies and skills which will be required in the future of business. More understanding of evidence-based decision making, making sure that all data, all decisions which they're made within their organizations, within their lives, within their general lives, is based on good analytical analysis of the data, analysis of the evidence, analysis of the validity of the data, and the ability to to understand the influence of data in real world as we move to more artificial intelligence, augmented reality, all these factors which are changing how we operate and how we do business. It's all based on analytics. So we're developing those analytical skills, and they're directly linked to what businesses are telling us. That's where they're saying that they want graduates who not necessarily they understand the theory, but they understand how to maximize decision making based on analytical and the analytics. And that's a key theme of all of our courses. And then we've got a strong finance and economics. We do particularly well in our undergraduate NSS in accounting. Accounting is a particular strength of the school. So that covers business and finance, accounting, and accounting finance. Our economics degree is new. It's just been revalidated, but we've always had a strong economics team. We've got a professor in economics. We've got dedicated staff who are really strong economists. And that degree is something we hope will grow in the future. We've always had business and economics pathways on our degrees, but now a specialist degree. So that's our undergraduate portfolio. As we said, focus on professional development, career advancement, employability, theoretical knowledge, but also that theme of running through it is being able to become an evidence-based decision maker, being able to analyze, understand, question, etc. Oh, that's a picture of our business. No, that's the library, sorry. And this is some just campus pictures for those who are not familiar. It's a beautiful campus. If you ever get the chance to come over, please, it's an incredible campus. It makes me, every time you walk onto campus, you feel good. And I've worked at a lot of universities, and sometimes you don't feel good walking around universities. They're not as beautiful landscaped and designed as our campus. That's the business school there. So let's think about our new validated postgraduate portfolio. I led on this validation, so I'm particularly strong in this area. We, like all of our postgraduate or undergraduate validations, we need industry to tell us what they want. We have academic specialists from other higher education institutes to benchmark our course against the quality standards, but we also have industry informing us on what the skills they want. And there was a few themes which came out through those discussions on what they want from postgraduates. Namely, evidence-based decision making is the key one. Analytical skills, numerical skills, and ability to not necessarily understand statistics, but understand and interpret data and analytics and statistics into practice. In a sense, not necessarily data science skills, but ability to communicate and understand the data science to present it to managers so they can make informed decision making on how do we spend our budgets, how do we manage staff performance, that type of stuff. And also they wanted a lot on ethical and sustainable decision making, which is a key theme from what our students demand and our business practitioners, our stakeholders demand, so that we're making responsible decision making. So responsible decision making, responsible business practices. So we look at sustainability from 3 factors. Sustainability means survival in essence. The survival of individuals and organizations. How do we optimize their performance without burning them out? Survival of organizations for the long term, and so make sure we're not doing harm to other stakeholders in the environment. So the triple bottom line, as it's often called. So we've developed, similar to the undergraduate, leadership and management and finance, banking and technology programs are our specialists, and we'll talk about some of these factors. Paul, are you willing to take over while I just take a quick call? Is that okay?
Yeah, absolutely, Giles. No problem. I'll have to load my screen. Giles has obviously got a doctor's appointment he just needs to quickly attend to. So let me share my screen. Just give me 1 second. Apologies for this. The host isn't allowing it multiple. Okay. I can't override what Giles is saying there at that point. So I think what I'll do is we'll catch up with the slides once Giles is back. Okay, thanks, Giles. You've stopped sharing. That might help me. Screen 2. I'll tell you what we do. Let me do screen 1. And then we'll drag this over there. Are you seeing my screen now, out of interest?
Not yet.
Not yet.
Not yet, no. So screen 1, share. Right. Okay, seeing it now?
Yes, we can.
Perfect. Okay, great. Apologies for that. So Giles was just at this this level here, wasn't he? This level here. Yeah. So essentially, you know what Giles is saying. We've gone through a whole host of discussion with business, which has led us to, you know, a completely new set of degrees, new set of master's programs that we've launched and we're launching this year. I know he was talking finance, banking, and technology, so let me just quickly touch on that one because that's quite important and I think plays nicely to a lot of our skills. We have you know, some what we've learned and what we've found.
Paul, sorry
Yeah.
to interrupt you. Could
Yeah.
you kindly expand the screen so we could probably see?
Apologies. Yeah.
Thank you so much.
It's flipped to the side, hasn't it? Are you seeing the small presentation view at the moment? I assume you are. Okay, you see
Yes.
full screen?
Not full screen, but it's way better than before.
Okay, all right, let's do this. Screen 2. Share. Right, you should hopefully be seeing the full screen now. Yeah.
Yes, thank you very much.
Perfect. Okay, yeah, perfect. Yeah, so talk about finance, banking, tech, right? So what we've learned from our conversations with business is that there's more and more of a demand on students to have a really intimate understanding of the financial services sector. Okay, so much so that we've you know recently invested in Bloomberg technology. So we have a Bloomberg suite that is the industry standard for financial analysts and for people wanting to enter the banking sector and the banking industry in terms of asset management, in terms of analysis, utilizing the Bloomberg tool. And the Bloomberg tool itself has a bunch of certifications that we are embedding into the programs so that when students are on campus, and this can cover any of the degrees or any of the master's programs they wish to take, but they can sign up to Bloomberg and they can become familiar with the Bloomberg technology and actually go through the process of having certificates. And those certificates are then recognized by the industry and they help in basically employment and you know search for employment. So that investment we made and started this year in August, only you know August 24. We're embedding it slowly into a couple of our undergrad programs as we speak, and we'll be embedding it significantly into some of these postgraduate degrees, particularly on the sort of finance and banking perspective. Okay. And then, as Giles said as well, you know, we've got research degrees, you know, that we also sponsor, you know, with regards to PhDs, etc. So they're launching in September 25. Our websites are currently being updated, so that's you know something that we're rushing to try and get completed, so that the process of signing up and the communication of these is clear on our website. Okay. Let's just jump on to the next one. So as Giles mentioned, you know, the themes, you know, are fundamentally leadership management, leadership styles, students being prepared statistically to walk out of here and be able to interpret and understand information and be able to articulate data and read data and interpret it and, you know, provide insight into the results of data, and obviously the banking and finance sector. So we look at leadership and management. These are the sort of areas we cover. We've got an executive MBA, We have a global MBA, which is more oriented to international business and global business. We've got a master's in business and management, covering core elements of business and management activities, and a number of modules that are cover a great depth in supporting them. We've also got a master's in sustainable leadership. So there's a theme of obviously of sustainability and how leadership can have a focus on this, and we brought this into a master's postgraduate degree also. And then we got some industry specific masters that we've launched. We've got one around communications and branding for masters in terms of marketing, and an interesting one in terms of sports business management. So we've found a lot of our research has pointed us to the fact that business and sports, and the alignment of the two are a big area of growth in this sector. Where we're based here in the northwest UK, we've got a lot of Premier League football teams. We've got a large rugby environment. We've got lots of interface with sports world. Also through our sports school, where we have students coming through and actually doing sports science, etc. So we're tying the two together to bring a much more comprehensive postgraduate sports program, which is really interesting. I'm really pleased about. Okay, if we then look at the banking and finance technology degrees, as mentioned, we're launching this accounting and finance degree. So, there's an emphasis on accounting. A lot of our postgraduate students, and we have a very strong undergraduate program for accounting. A lot of our students choose then to enter the industry at undergrad level, and they'll go on and sign up for ACCAs or join some of the large accounting firms. However, a lot of our students also would like that movement within the realm of the university to progress up to a master's level, right? And we've launched these accounting master's degrees to really drive and provide additional support to those students that require a more of a professional oversight on accounting. And aligned to that, we're bringing in more of a finance perspective to it. So not pure classic accounting, but also we bring in the concept of finance and financial services and the sectors that are supported over and above just pure accounting. So Giles, I know you're back. Do you want to pick up again and roll?
Yeah, if you want to just keep doing the slides, Paul, and I'll say next slide. Is that okay?
Perfect. Yeah, that's good for me. Yeah.
Serves us.
Yeah.
So
just covering off the banking and finance. Just jumping onto banking.
Well, the timing was perfect then, because you're involved in that. But they're good.
Yeah, exactly.
Degrees. I think we'll go a bit deeper into these later on and what have you. So the next one, Paul, is the MBA Global. If you just move your slide on, this is a new degree. We've had an MBA for years, and we used to decline a lot of applicants from international applicants, primarily on the fact that we required 2 to 3 years solid managerial experience. So that could be a managerial experience of people, budgets, or projects. And we were declining applicants who were ambitious but didn't have that managerial experience. So we've developed 2 MBAs now. We've developed the MBA Global, which is for ambitious early career professionals who might not have the experience, but of managing in organizations for 3 years, 2 to 3 years, but have the acumen and the drive. And then we've got a experienced MBA, which is for experienced leaders, which I'll talk to you about in a bit. So the MBA Global is designed for ambitious early career professionals, limited work experience. It has an international business perspective, because the majority of the market for MBAs from younger people tends to come from the international market, the Middle East, Africa, parts of Asia. So it gives a real focus on the international perspectives, global strategy, global organizations, cross-cultural leadership, these type of factors. It's got some analytics on all of our courses. There's a theme running through them is analytics and responsible decision making. Very much hands-on learning as well. You do a management consultancy project where you work with a real small business who is dealing with real challenges, and you work in a consultancy role with the organization, but it focuses on you developing as a leader. The development of leadership, the development of facilitating teamwork, the development of your decision-making skills, both from a analytical perspective, a rational decision-making perspective, but also from making decisions when you are dealing with situations of imperfect information. How do we deal with those situations? So really good course, really good cohort, vibrant cohort, incredible experience to work within. And the next one, Paul, if we just move on. So this is our experienced leaders. Again, some global applicants, but a lot of local applicants from local employers who, this is designed for people who find themselves in a management position, and they've often got an undergraduate degree, but it's in a specific area unrelated to management, engineering or sciences or biology, or they've done nursing or social care or midwifery or radiography or something like that. And they've found themselves, as they've moved up the organization, with management responsibilities, but not necessarily a theoretical chance to study management and sit back and think about, well, what is there a better way of doing this? What does the books tell us about this? So this is an experienced leaders course. It's tailored for professionals with at least 2 years of that management and strategic responsibility. Strategic depth, knowledge of change management. How do we manage change? How do we analyze risk in organizations? Consulting skills, both from an external consultancy perspective and the internal consultant. How do we become the internal consultant within our organization? Organizational development comes into it. Sustainable strategy. So how do we make decisions which increase the probability of our organization continuing for the long term? So it has a very much global, ethical and sustainable outlook, develops strategic insight informed by the values-led leadership and a real global awareness of how organizations operate, their implications on other stakeholders. So that's a good course for you if you're an experienced leader and you want to take your career to the next level, or if you want to stay at where you are but you want to be better at what you do. In a sense, you want to be a better leader. Thanks, Paul. Next one. The MSc Business and Management. So this course, we accept individuals who've done business and management in the past, but they might have done it a long time ago as an undergraduate. They might not have done it at a UK university, and this is suited for those students. It's particularly suited though for students who want to study business and management for the first time. This kind of course assumes no prior knowledge of business and management. It assumes you've not studied business and management recently, or you've not studied it in any depth. So it's ideal for any graduates from other disciplines. So we get a lot of people from the creative arts on this. We get students from sciences, but they want to specialize in business, people who've done sports degrees, fitness degrees, medical degrees, teaching degrees, but they've decided, actually, I don't want to follow that degree route. I don't want to follow that career route. I want to work in commerce. I want to work in business. So this is an excellent degree if you've studied before at an undergraduate level, but you've not studied business, or you studied business a long time ago. So ideal for graduates, as I've said, gains broad-based understanding of strategy, innovation, analytics, leadership, and international business. Focus on real-world application. There's the modules called collaborative innovation, where you innovate with other peers, innovate with your colleagues, to look at solutions which are creative, implement change. Develops your leadership practice from a theoretical and practical perspective, and also it gives you knowledge about international strategic management, leadership, analytics in the real world organizational context, as well as introducing you to the discipline. So, what's the role of marketing, and how do you develop better understanding of what your customers do? Operations, it's again similar. So in that degree, we get about 40, 50 international students a year on that. That's probably our biggest degree. It's our biggest marketplace. Next slide, Paul. So the accounting and finance. So this is new. We've had excellence in undergraduate NSS for years and good undergraduate numbers in accounting and finance, but we've never had an accounting and finance masters. So we decided to develop one. So our students who particularly are not ready, or they want another year before they go to the graduate jobs in accounting, can go into this. But also we can get students from other universities and international who want to come and study accounting and finance at Edge Hill, because it's got a good reputation for accounting and finance. So MSc accounting and finance. It's accredited, so you get, I think it's the ACCA accreditation on this one. Designed for graduates who've already done accounting, finance, or other business-related fields where they've touched on some business accounting modules at least, but they want to seek that professional route into accounting and finance. Technically advanced, a lot of ethically grounded, so responsible, sustainable accounting practices, which is one of the factors which the big accounting firms are looking for now. We explore modules in financial decision making, taxation modules, auditing, market analysis, sustainable finance, and like we said, that strong ethical focus, because the big organizations in accounting and auditing, they're telling us that they need that. That's something which the accrediting bodies are looking for in their graduates, in their staff, in their processes, in their policies, responsible management. And strategic financial insight, builds that knowledge of complex financial data. It includes strategy and how we can make evidence-based recommendations in the finance. You'll also do a Bloomberg module, market analysis, so you'll learn about stocks, shares, and investing and what have you, and organizational performance, going above and beyond the traditional kind of ratio analysis, which a lot of courses just focus on. We go a lot further into a lot of market analysis. Okay, Paul, next slide. Okay, our assessments. Yeah. There's only exams really on the modules where the accreditors require us to do exams. So that predominantly is the big accounting and finance accreditors. So exams are more associated with the accounting and finance postgraduate modules. At undergraduate, you will do some exams on some of our degrees, but as I said, it tends to be the modules which are aligned to accreditation, or students variance. Sometimes we mix it up, so there might be a couple of marketing at undergraduate at exams on marketing degrees. There won't be any on the postgraduate portfolio unless you study accounting. So if exams are not your field, and we do prepare students well for exams, exams are techniques which we can develop. Good examination preparation is something we develop in our students. But if you really don't like exams, if they create anxiety or what have you, then go for perhaps the business and management, the MBA, sustainable business leadership, master's courses in that area, or marketing. Coursework is predominantly a key area, reports, essays. We do a lot of case studies. We do a lot of portfolio analysis. We do our presentations now are a lot more advanced. We get students to develop podcasts and that type of stuff. So they develop podcasts, 30-minute podcasts, where they're briefing, where they're talking about a particular management theory, as if they're teaching other people through podcasts. We find that works really well. Different ways and variations of assessing students. We have a wide breadth of assessment. Now, the norm is our postgraduate portfolio of 15 credits. The norm is the equivalent of 2 small assessments, the equivalent of together collected 3,000 words. Our dissertation is on the postgraduate portfolio is I think it's 12,000 word dissertation, and that's the equivalent of 3 modules. No, it's a six, actually, I think it's a 60 credit dissertation. So it's the equivalent of 4 modules. Yeah. So yeah, 12,000 word dissertation at the end of the course. And yeah, our workshops for postgraduate, we tend to do workshops because it's smaller, kind of group based, a bit of chalk and talk, and then a bit of conversation application, group work, working together, problem solving together, learning in a group based level. But there will be small lectures in that. We do a lot of client consultations, as we said, to understand our clients' needs on different modules. So real life simulations, presentations, storyboards, these type of stuff. And then we do some simulations. So Bloomberg has some simulations if you do market analysis modules, but also we do a marketing simulation as well, where we get students to do a live problem, and the decisions which they make influences the next round of the data they get, and ultimately they're in competition with each other on a live simulation. They love that and they learn loads from it. As I said, we've got a dissertation. So the dissertation on postgraduates is 12,000 words, 60 credits, and for undergraduate, I think it's a 10,000 word dissertation maximum. So yeah, and then as I said, that you do client projects. So there's a real variance in how we assess our students, and that works really well because we're trying to work towards everyone's strengths. We're trying to capitalize on each other's strengths, but we're also making students productive. A lot of the assessment, especially postgraduate, is done within the classroom. We work towards it within lab time, within class time. So we get students working on it and they can get feedback as they go along from the staff, and also create a degree of authenticity in the assessment as well, that students are doing it in real time, collaborating, learning from each other, and it works very effectively for developing the skills. It's not just about getting the qualification, it's about having the skills which you apply in the workplace. Okay, Paul, next slide, sorry. Yep, as said, we said about professional accreditation. So we pride ourselves on high levels of professional accreditation. So our postgraduate portfolio is accredited by the Chartered Management Institute. We've just validated the postgraduate, and we've designed it so we can get CIMA and ACCA and CIPFA accreditation on our accounting and finance. And on our undergraduates, we've got all of those factors, depending on what course you do. So we've got computer science society modules on accounting. We've got SAGE modules on accounting. We've got all the accounting bodies accredited on our undergraduate portfolio. We've got Chartered Institute of Marketing for our marketing portfolio, so our students leave with dual accreditation, and Chartered Management Institute for our management portfolio. So you get the degree, but you also get fellowship, membership, chartered status eventually with your degrees if you want to pursue that. Thanks, Paul. Next slide, Paul. Thank you. And I think, is that it? Is that the end of the slideshow?
Yeah, that's the end of the slideshow, Joe.
Brilliant. So yeah, so really we'll open up to any questions and any feedback or anything which we can help with at this stage.
All right. Thank you both for that informative session. It was really detailed. I did enjoy it. I'm 100% sure every other person did enjoy and got a lot of information from it also. So now I guess we open the floor for questions. If you have any questions, please feel free to submit them through the chat box, and we'll attend to as much as we can. So right now, I do have a couple of questions. And the first question is, please, any opportunity for students who holds a HAD in business administration and management with an upper credit of 3.44 for business school?
So do you mind if I pick up on this one?
Yes,
so
Walid, please.
Basically, we usually don't accept HND for direct entry into masters, but we rather accept them. We can, in some instances, accept them into entry to year 3 or year 1 of undergraduate. So year 1 would be the easiest choice, but since they already studied 2 years back in their home country, then we would like to explore also an opportunity to get them into year 3, in which case there's like a whole module mapping that needs to take place. So I invite this inquirer just to send us their transcript, either at my email address that I just typed in, or at international@edgehill.ac.uk. Or they can contact Study Now as well for any help or advice. And once we receive their transcript, we can see if we can admit them into year 3, if that makes sense.
All right, thank you so much, Khalid. All right, the next question is, kindly guide through the process of applying for a PhD degree and available scholarships or scholarships for international students.
Yeah, I can keep an answer for that. We have a PhD program, which we do welcome applications from. I'm not sure on the scholarships approach at the moment. I'm not sure if whether the scholarships are open at the moment. They do open at certain times of the year and then they close us, and so. But we do have a website link, and that will give you details about applying for PhDs at Edgehill. I'm just trying to, yeah, I've just gone on to Google and Doctor of Philosophy PhD, and the application process is there. But yeah, we would welcome, yeah, the application for the October 2025 full-time is on at the moment. The deadline for home EU students, so that doesn't cover the I assume the applicant, is 30th of May. But this, yeah.
For international students, it'll be the 30th of May, the deadline for applications.
Yeah.
And then if you want to reach out to the graduate school in the first place, so what happens is the graduate school will assess or discuss with you, like, what do you want to research, what topic, what area are you looking at? And then they will guide you through, signpost you to one of the business lecturer or supervisor to discuss this further.
Yeah, that's a great answer.
All
and
right.
What I would advise the applicant, if they are doing that, is just look at the research strengths of the team, of our professors, and see if your ideas fit with what they're interested in. Whenever you're going for a PhD, you're best looking at, once you've identified what kind of area of study you want to do, where the best people are in that field. So if you are thinking about, if you really do like Edgehill, and you want to align your research to our research interests, we'd welcome that. But have a look at our professors and see what they do. We've got some good marketing professors. We've got a lot of good economics. We've got a lot on sustainable and ethical business as well. These are our strengths. And the other area which we're strong in is leadership of crises and emergency services. So if you're interested in studying the management of emergency services like police, ambulance, fire brigades, blue light services, as we call them, that's a particular strength of our school. So have a look at our research pages on business school, and like we said, just have a look on the graduate school and try and get that application started for May the 30th. We'd welcome that.
All right, thank you so much. I have another question. I am Joseph, a Nigerian resident in the Republic of South Africa, and I would like to know if there is MRes program in business school.
Yeah. The MRes is the Master of Research is a central university degree. So the MRes is validated for all university departments, to my knowledge. But your supervisors on your MRes would be in the business school if it's a business related MRes. So there'd be some generic modules on research methods, ethical, qualitative, quantitative, advanced quants, advanced qualitative, which you do and need to attend and pass. But then for the core MRes is you'd be supervised just like you would on a PhD for by colleagues like myself, Paul, and other colleagues.
All right, thank you so much. I have another question that says, what does your fair entry criteria means?
Yeah, well, the entry criteria for the majority of our courses is the equivalent of a 2-2 in a UK degree equivalent, so classification. For international applicants, we do look at the quality of the degree and where it's come from and the grading and stuff, and make sure that it's relevant. But the 2-2 is the baseline. There is an English test, and I think it's IELTS 6.5. Is that right? Is that
Yes.
what the target is?
Yes, that's correct. So IELTS 6.5 for undergrad and for postgrad, and then just a 6 for undergrad. And then we do accept a list of other English tests, but also some qualifications may waive the need of passing any English test. For example, for those studying in, for example, Nigeria, having a WIAC with a grade C in English, they can submit that as a proof of English. Those from Kenya, for example, can use a KCSE and so on. So I would invite any applicant to first just double check the list of English requirements on our website, just to double check before passing a test. Do your qualification just may waive the need of passing an English test in the first place. And just also to continue on the fair entry criteria, this means that we don't make differentiation or discriminations when we assess applications, which means if you have, for example, some study gaps, or if you have if you're a mature student, we wouldn't use those, for example, criteria to assess you unfairly, saying, for example, oh, because you're that age, you won't be eligible for the course.
Yeah.
This is the meaning behind the fair entry criteria.
That's a good point. I didn't actually know that, and thanks for you've informed me there. Well, that's really useful. Yeah, well, from experience, some of the best students we've had over the years are the ones who are a bit older, because the business, you can't teach it unless you can contextualize it to your experience. You can't learn it. Sorry, it's it's really easy to, if you've worked in organizations or you've started your own businesses, you can contextualize and understand what is being taught a lot better, and you can learn it because it makes a lot more sense. So we'd definitely welcome applicants from non-business backgrounds, i.e. undergraduate, and also more experienced people who've worked for 5 or 6, 7 years and looking at advancing their career.
All right. I have a question, which is I have a bachelor's of business administration degree, and I want an offer for master's in management information system. Is that possible?
I don't think we do management information. We don't have a MSc management information systems here. They would be best looking at the just go back to the slideshow if I've got it open. The courses which we've got, perhaps looking at the finance programs if they want to do that. Our modules have a focus on business analytics, so they would develop the business analytics skills. But if they want to specialize in management information systems, it's not on our portfolio specifically here. But they would develop a lot of good knowledge in that area. Sustainable leadership, they do a lot of that, but specifically on our marketing as well, they do business analytics and then intermediate analytics. So they do 30 big credits of analytics, which would teach them a lot of the information systems, and then you can always specialize your dissertation in that field if you want to really focus in that area. So in essence, there is some flexibility about what is taught.
All right, I have a question. What's the timeline to get an unconditional offer after uploading all that was requested to get the same cash shield on your cash shield, sorry. And the next question from the same person is, do I need to pay my tuition deposit after I get my conditional offer?
So right, there's a lot to go through here. But so basically, after you submit your application, right, we will be looking at a 2 weeks turnaround from the admissions team to have a look at your documents, have a look at your personal statement, your applications and everything, then get back to you with what we call conditional offer in the first place. So your conditions can be, for example, the need to submit an English test, your transcript, for example, other tests that may be related to your application, or you can receive an unconditional offer in the first place if you meet all the entry kind of conditions at the point of application. But usually what happens is you first receive a conditional offer. This is how it starts. Then you'll be invited. So the steps will be explained as you go. So no need to kind of keep all this information in your head now, but then you will kind of need to upload the documents step by step, after which you will receive an unconditional offer once you meet those conditions. I hope that makes sense. So in terms of the deposit, I would personally advise to not pay the deposit until you meet the conditions, but pay the deposit once you receive either an unconditional offer or once the university has confirmed that you have a place in the university. So the deadline for the deposit to be paid this year will be the 11th of August, 2025. If you're studying a business course, for example, will be the 11th of August. Will be the last day to pay the deposit. Have I answered all the questions here? Okay.
Oh yes, you answered two. The same person has one more question. All right. Is this strictly on business? Can we ask questions on other fields from Edge Hill University?
I mean, you can do. Since Paul and Giles are here, I would rather keep it business related. But by the end of the session, I mean, if there are still any questions that you want to ask, I'm here and I can answer the question. I don't want to keep Paul and Giles just there answering random questions, but I want to keep it focused on business.
Yeah, we understand that. All right. Can I apply to MSc Business Management with 2-2 in business with MSc with BSc Geology degree and C6 in English language?
I'm not sure about the
Just-
C6. I'll let Walid will have more information on that, but definitely with business management, it would be ideal for you because it's a 2-2 in geology and it's we assume no prior studying of business, so it'd be an ideal course for you, and other students would be in very similar situations to yourself, where it's a non-business first degree, but they're now studying business, so you wouldn't feel out your depth or anything like that. Historically, we would have called them conversion degrees, but it's a bit of a strange title, conversion. But yeah, definitely. But I'm not sure about the C6 in WAEC, but Walid will probably know more about that.
Yeah, I can confirm that a C6 would be sufficient to prove English proficiency. The only small kind of detail to know about is if your YA qualification is older than 10 years old, then you would need to also provide a letter of English proficiency. So usually what students do is they reach out to their university just saying, can you just provide me with a letter just saying that the bachelor degree I passed, for example, in Nigeria, Ghana, whichever the English-speaking country is. And the university will provide you, from back home, will provide you with that letter. So you will need to submit both your YA with a grade C6, which is sufficient, but also a letter of proficiency as well. This is only if your YA is older than 10 years old. If it's less than 10 years old, then you can submit it straight away, and that will be sufficient.
Right. Next question is, do you accept
Liam, your microphone just went off. Oh.
Can you hear me now?
Yes.
Yes.
All right. So do you accept students of Benin Republic? That's no problem. Thank you.
Students from Benin Republic?
Yes.
Yes.
Can they go in for a direct master's?
Yeah, they can do. It all depends. So the entry requirements depends more on the qualification they hold rather than where they're from. So yes, we accept applicants from Benin Republic as long as they've studied a bachelor degree in a recognized institution. Yeah.
Okay, so I think we've exhausted majority of the questions. The only last question I think I have before me is any final advice to prospective students attending Edge Hill University?
I can just wherever you decide to study or whatever you decide to study, just make the most of it. It goes fast, the masters. They're only a year long, so just concentrate on learning those skills, engaging with the community, engaging with the university, so you really get the most out of your time. And that's with every university. You know, it goes so fast, a masters, especially a full-time one. So just really kind of be in that framework to work hard and to dedicate that year of your life to achieving that master's, and being proud when you get up that graduation that you've earned a qualification, and you've not only earned the qualification, you've got the knowledge, skills, and ability which underpin that education, that qualification, which is what the employers want. They don't want the qualification, they want the knowledge, skills, and abilities.
Okay, I got this pop-up questions that I think is very important. They are requesting for the tuition deposit and if the payment structure is quite flexible for students, for
Of course,
international
yeah.
students.
Yeah, so the tuition fees are £17,000, but our offer holders will receive a £3,000 scholarship, which means for example, if you're doing an MSc in business management, for example, it's just a 1 year long. So the whole tuition fees that you need to pay will be £14,000. Okay. So out of those £14,000, there is a £4,000 deposit that needs to be paid by the 11th of August. And then the remaining £10,000 will be split into 3 equal installments across the year. This is after you arrive to the campus into the UK. You start your studies usually in September time. The first installment will be paid around end of October 2025, and then second will be January 2026. Sorry, last one will be April 2026, and you'll be done with your tuition fees.
All right, thank you so much, Walid. All right, thank you all so much for the fantastic questions. And once again, a big thank you to Walid, Paul, and Jill Gills for sharing such valuable, insightful information to every one of us. Also, we are excited to invite you all to our upcoming Study Now Expo for the 12th of April at 4 Point by Sheraton, Victoria Island. We will definitely have the representative from Edge Hill University on the live Zoom to answer your majority of your questions, if not all your questions. All right. Thank you so much. All right. Before we wrap up, I'd like to remind everyone that we will be sharing the recorded session of this webinar. All right. On behalf of everyone, thank you so much for being part of today's webinar, and we hope you and look forward to having you all once again. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
Thanks, everyone.
Bye-bye.